I just got home after a 12-hour shift, starving, exhausted, and ready to collapse. I pull into my driveway, and there it is. A giant white SUV dead center, blocking me completely. I couldn't even fit my car. And then I realized it wasn't a mistake. It was my neighbor, Jack, sending me a message. Well, I sent one back, with a $300 punch. If you've ever felt powerless when someone disrespects your space, your time, or your patience, hit that like button. Subscribe and stick around because this is one of those stories where karma hits back. And it hits hard. I live in a quiet cul-de-sac. Nothing fancy, just a few rows of modest houses, manicured lawns, kids playing, neighbors waving hello. It's the kind of place where everyone mostly minds their own business. My driveway fits 2 cars perfectly. One for me, one for my husband. That's it. Seems simple, right? But apparently, that simplicity didn't apply to my neighbor. Let's call him Jack. Jack had this strange sense of entitlement. For him, my driveway wasn't private property. It was some kind of communal bonus parking for his family and friends. The first time it happened, I thought maybe it was a mistake. His brother parked there, just for a second. A week later, a friend of his left a car there while dropping something off. I gritted my teeth, shook my head, but let it slide. I thought, it's not worth making it awkward. But here's the thing about small injustices. They have a way of piling up. Like invisible weights pressing down until suddenly, you snap. It didn't stop. I come home after a long, draining shift as a nurse. My body aching, my mind tired. And yet, there's always a car in my spot. Sometimes a truck. Sometimes a tiny sedan. Always someone else. Always Jack's just for a sec excuse. One night sticks out. I had 5 bags of groceries. I had to park halfway down the street because a buddy of Jack's had claimed my driveway. Carrying bag after bag, I could feel my patience cracking like thin ice. Every time I mentioned it, Jack would flash that half smile, smug, dismissive. Oh yeah, sorry. They'll be gone soon. And that voice, it made my blood boil. Like I was the unreasonable one, the overreacting neighbor. And that's exactly what he wanted. Then came Friday night. I'd just finished a 12-hour shift. I was still in scrubs. Exhausted, hungry, and clutching takeout that had already started to get cold. I could almost taste the crispy fries, almost. I pull into my driveway, and there it is. A giant white SUV. Parked dead center. Not a centimeter to squeeze through. Not a hint of consideration. I knock on the door. No answer. I call Jack. And his casual, infuriating response. Oh yeah, that's my in-laws. They'll only be there a couple of hours. Just park on the street. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I swear, in that moment my vision narrowed. My hands curled into fists. My stomach flipped. The injustice, it felt personal, almost like an attack. And yet, I also realized something. I had the power to make this right. Not with yelling. Not with confrontation. But in a way Jack would never forget. As I stood there, scrubs wrinkled, cold takeout on the passenger seat, my brain raced. He's disrespecting me. Disrespecting my time, my space, my life. And he thinks it's funny. Well, I can play this game too. I thought about all the little inconveniences. All the times I had swallowed my anger because I didn't want drama. And suddenly the scales tilted. This wasn't revenge out of spite. This was fairness. Justice. And it had to be swift. I checked the local laws first. Yep. If someone blocks your private driveway, you can tow immediately. Jackpot. I called a tow truck. Explained the situation. Private driveway, blocking my car, need it moved ASAP. 20 minutes later, the tow truck rolled up. The SUV? Gone before I even finished half my fries. I stood there, watching as the giant white SUV disappeared down the street. The tow truck driver gave me a little nod, a silent, you did the right thing kind of nod. My chest felt tight. My pulse was racing, not with fear but with anticipation. I could already hear the impending storm. I could see it in my mind. Jack's face beat red. His in-laws furious. And me calm. Collected. Triumphant. Sure enough, about an hour later, boom. Furious pounding on my door. Jack's face was red enough to stop traffic. His in-laws shouting in the background, demanding answers, pointing fingers. And Jack, well, he was boiling with rage. You didn't have to take it that far, he yelled. I opened the door, took a deep breath, looked him dead in the eyes, and said, You told me it wasn't a big deal, so I treated it like it wasn't a big deal. Then I closed the door. The best part? They had to pay almost $300 to get their car back. $300. For a few hours of misplaced entitlement. And ever since that day, my driveway has stayed pristine. Not a single, just a sec parking. Not even for family or friends. It wasn't just the money. It wasn't just the inconvenience. It was the principle. It was finally feeling seen, respected, and in control. And oh, that feeling of justice? Sweet. Absolutely sweet. Moments like this remind me how important boundaries are. How often we let small slights pile up until they become unbearable. How satisfying it is to finally take action, responsibly, legally, and morally. Jack learned his lesson. I learned mine. And the takeaway? Sometimes justice isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's swift. And sometimes it costs $300. So next time someone crosses your boundaries, remember, you don't always need to yell. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge is the one that's simple, clean, and completely justified. If this story gave you chills, or made you want to check your own driveway, smash that like button. Comment below, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, subscribe for more stories where karma serves justice, one perfectly timed moment at a time.